Uh, I have been thinking lately about my right and other people's right to exist um, in this world and in the place that you live, whether it be online or in person. And anytime somebody wants to censor you, what they're really saying is, I don't believe in your true right to exist as a human being. And if you feel treated that way, is that where you want to spend your money? Is that where you want to, you know, give your time to? On people that do not recognize your right to exist and do not see things at all the way you see them? Is this the kind of marriage you would want to have when you seek to get a divorce or flee from that place that doesn't see your right to exist, your opinions, your thoughts? Is that is that really what you want? Kind of your humanity? Because if you're not allowed to express ideas freely and talk freely, then really and truly you don't exist. The true you doesn't really exist. If people put you down for your ideas, they're kind of saying who you are shouldn't exist and I want to change you. You know, I've had a lot of experience with that. Individuals wanting to change me personally and change my views personally, whether it be my parents, my friends, or whoever. And maybe I've also done it myself, where I wanted to change a person, but that's not really accepting them for who they are. And Susie says, talk slower. I can't keep up. Well, I'm just here kind of bloviating and saying the first kind of things that come to my mind. Now, tomorrow, the Daily Wire will have Gina Carano and Ben Shapiro. She will be talking about her being let go from The Mandalorian. And Susie says she gives me, now I have Susie on here, who's one of my only few guests that actually comes here, and she says, I give you thumbs up for comedic value. I'm glad I have some value to Susie. Susie and I disagree. She says she's a Republican, but I think she's a little bit on the woke left side. And which is kind of sad. And we have Wayne here as well. Wayne is all the way out in New York, and I imagine it's very cold out there in the city of New York. It's been cold out here. The wind has been really rough. I wouldn't want to be a homeless man. And I wonder now. I have Joe here. He has been.
Yes,
Yes.
I am here, and I'm listening to your expose here.
Yeah. And I wonder, and I don't care if someone thinks that I'm incorrect or I'm getting anything wrong. Uh, it does kind of bother me the way Willie does it, and Willie uses a lot of profanity, and he says I should worry about other things, and this is kind of a hobby of mine. It's 15 degrees in upstate New York. That sounds really
Well, it is a public forum that we offer, and some people are going to say, "Hey, go get laid," and other
yeah.
people are going to disagree with, what side you tend to scurry to, and others yet will call you racist without really inspecting further. So you're going to get just because this is a public space.
Yeah, that's true. But most of it has been get laid, and the other ones have been saying that I've been rather boring,
Yes.
and others have been thinking that I'm rather suicidal.
Well, you know what? The whole thing with you probably listen to too much conservative nonsense, because it's just at the end of the day a lot of rhetoric, and then to really get for a lot of these people to really get to the nuggets of what they're getting to the point. There's this big kind of flowery overview, and then they kind of sucker you into like you know just $600 for a weekend of my lectures, and this sort of thing. So for the most part, I think maybe people who are saying that you're boring are probably just waiting for you to get to the point.
Yeah, I guess.
um I just saw a good movie, by the way, called In and of Itself, and it's real interesting.
Now, did you watch any of The Heart is a Lonely Hunter? That has become one of my more favorite films. Uh, it's kind of stoic and has kind of a moral message to it. It's it was a progressive film for its time, and
Yeah, I still have yet to see that one. I'll probably check it out. Maybe I'll watch some of it tonight. It seems like a quiet night so far.
yeah, it's good for a little quiet, just a kind of a chill kind of film, you know, and something nice and quiet that you can kind of relax to, just enjoy that quiet little film. And it's about, morality and humanity and the like. Well, in about a few weeks, we will be heading into March.
We are rounding that curve heading into spring. I'm going to throw a question out there. Why are people wearing masks? Just want to ask everybody out there. What do you think? Why are people wearing masks?
People are wearing masks um, because they feel that this is a contagious disease, and they feel that uh, it, that it can stop them from, getting the disease, but also more importantly, it's a sign of respect because it's they believe that it's less of a transmission to that disease, to this coronavirus. That's why people are wearing a mask, and I am on the fence on that. I do it because it is out of politeness, and I don't know how effective or ineffective it is. But right now, we are being censored because if you say something against mask wearing, you could get in trouble. So it's something that is against our freedom of speech, I guess. I'm looking.
What are you looking for?
I'm just looking at my time card. I'm just looking at.
Well, we could take a call if somebody's out there wants to call in. I'll post the number 310-668-1969. And you know what? I should probably open my Skype if I'm gonna
You
do
might
that.
want to do that. Now, I hope we don't get Willie telling me that I need to get laid again.
Well, I've heard that that Howard has found someone very special, and so that may be why we haven't heard from him for a little bit.
Yes, yes. Which he is entertaining, but he's also uh, he's super critical, and he does so, I think, for his own ego purposes. By the way, and which, you know what, yeah. So yeah, he does so for his own ego purposes, and you know, good on him.
Wow, 15 degrees out there. Wow, we shouldn't be complaining. It's been nice, a little windy, but nice. So, all right. So our Skype is open.
Yes, our Skype is open.
So I don't know how much longer we'll maintain. I'm. Have you spoken? Have you been on any other shows?
No, I haven't, and I might just go do that. Just go on to see if I can go on to other shows and just, just if the topic interests me, I will I will go there.
Sooner or later, we're going to have a situation where we have callers calling in every night because um, our best shows were really when we get on some topics, but then just start taking some phone calls,
We would get it
line
now.
them up.
7:45 a.m. to 2 p.m. How many hours is that? 7:45 to 2 p.m. I'm thinking 7 is 5, 8.
Should be 7.
7:45 to 2 p.m.
Oh,
7:45 a.m.
7:45.
Let me see here. I'm just
No,
adding.
6.2. It's 6.25 or 6.25 hours. Eight to 12 would be 4 hours plus 2 is 6 plus the quarter hour, so 6.25. Anyways,
I'm just thinking out loud here.
it's our right to exist.
Yes, it is. It is our right to exist, Joey. And trying to exist the best in the best way I can.
Once you begin to start seeing, I think a lot about origin and legal, like how the law works, I think that is something that truly helps. Oh, in biology and learning biology, and you start to see about what happened to our lives. It's just interesting. I'm on this trip where I'm seeing a lot, watching a lot of these. Um, I guess I've narrowed it down to like two or three really good podcasts and people who are sharing ideas and building their own little communities, and not even that little, like decent small, like little manageable sized communities where like minds are getting together and really sharing a lot of good ideas. What I find with a lot of the more controversial people, and a lot of these people who have hundreds of thousands or even millions of followers, subscribers, and all that. I just It's not manageable. It's not sustainable, and these people to me aren't relaying the right information. So there's kind of a sweet spot for some of these shows, I think.
Yeah, you might be right. There might be, a few sweet spots for some of these shows, and it's really how relevant you are and how much you can, like I guess independent contractors and independent vloggers. YouTube changes the algorithm, so really and truly, it's a lot harder for independent creators to get traction nowadays. It's become much more difficult, and that's kind of sad, you know. Um, it's it is what it is, but to a degree, I feel like these people don't necessarily believe in our right to exist as independent creators and independent thinkers.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
and
Sue.
the same thing with Facebook and all the rest. They don't necessarily they don't. I'm looking here at my timesheet
Snap
here.
out of it. Snap
I
out.
I
This
think
is
I
not
made it.
work hour.
Yes, I know. I just kind of made a boo boo there. It's just like, looking at the whole thing. It is
Yeah.
what sometimes things
Imagine not getting paid. Um, yeah, that's uh,
imagine not getting paid. That's correct. Imagine.
imagine not getting paid. That you know what I'm starting to think that might be the biggest secret of all, that even without getting paid, everybody will be just fine. Now, I wonder though if the market is going to continue this climb upwards, or is it going to collapse and uh, and just like break everybody's back at the same time.
You know what? And really, what are you if you have no money? If you're broke and homeless, and particularly
Well,
as you grow older, like if things really collapse,
yeah,
I guess a lot of us will be in the same boat.
yeah, we'll all be in the same boat. It'd be time to pick up the pieces together,
You
and I
know,
think that's where we're headed. I don't think there's any avoiding that at some point. Maybe not now. Maybe not in the next year or 2 years or 3 years, or maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
how much, how much
I
unity do we have, though, Joe?
How
With
much what?
how much unity does this society have with the kinds
Uh,
of
you know what?
censorship?
if there was a big collapse, you'd see a sudden, you see a sudden surge of people trying to collaborate. But it is frustrating that we've thrown out our ideas to a lot of people, and it's amazing that it's very difficult to even find somebody who is willing to kind of, it's a if they're not getting that piece of paper, we're not giving them money, then they're not going to do a show or stick around. So whatever.
I know that like it's harder to get change than it's ever been.
Oh,
And pretty
well,
soon it's going to start being hard to get cash too. I think we might go to a cashless society.
uh,
And Wayne says, hang on to your gold. It's going to continue to go up. I mean, you're probably right. I might want to, like gold and precious metals.
silver right now is still cheap. I still think it's going to really jump up.
At the end of the day, we're all going to die. I mean, like one day we'll all be dead. And the truth is, you might as well make it count now and speak your piece now. You may get punished, but what's the worst they can do? Kill you? You're going to be dead anyway, sooner or later. And there's a lot of people that are really afraid of the mob right now, and a lot of people are living in fear. And is that really a way to live, where you can't speak your mind and speak your piece? To a degree, they don't see your right to exist as a human being. I mean, in the city that I live in, I have a historical society, and everyone's afraid to speak on the Facebook page that they have. And I, I, the type of fear that I'm seeing right now, I don't understand it. And maybe they have a right to be afraid, but a lot of people are afraid, and they live in fear, and that's not really existing. And Wayne is under this whole thing about gold.
They sold a bracelet for a couple grand, a vintage bracelet, and it was under an ounce. So yeah, there's a lot of value there.
But will America and the world be a place where you have the right to exist to a degree? Because our right, really our existence, this pandemic has changed our existence. You've talked about the right to breathe. And not only our right to breathe is attacked, but our right to speak about the right to breathe, the right to discuss why should I put on this mask? Why can't I say what I say? I mean, do we really have a free society anymore? Does cancel culture allow a free society? And there are people that don't recognize it, but they're not recognizing, any pain that they're causing or that they're inflicting on people. It's just kind of I feel that a lot of people right now seem to be very unaware. And there are a lot of people in power. I don't know if they seem unaware of the pain that they are inflicting on others. Or they just don't care and they feel that they deserve it. And that is that is something to think about. Now, Wayne said that he has a picture of him, he has photos of him holding an AR 15, and he's afraid to post it anywhere. So, yeah, our rights right now are not our right to speak, our right to breathe are all under attack. Our right to basically exist, to do all of the things that we used to do. I guess it's kind of like, and not to the dramatic, when a, you know, when Rome invaded Britain, they changed their life. When the when the settlers came to this country, they changed the life and they changed the way of life. I feel like our lives are being changed. Our way of life is being changed in ways that many are not aware of. I feel like I'm aware of it, but a lot of society doesn't see, who doesn't look at pop culture and the misinformation that is out there. Um, how much change is taking place, and it doesn't feel like it's for the best, and it's really, we're living in a healthy society right now, and we can't even talk about it. I think right now we live in a very unhealthy society that is run by moral egotists at best, moral narcissists at worst. That's what it looks like to me. But I don't know if I'm correct on that observation. Joe, do you have any observation on that?
On what?
On what I just said?
What did you just say?
Well, I said it feels like the world right now is being, particularly the entertainment world, which I kind of grew up in, and the social media world is being run by moral egotist at best, moral narcissist at, at worst.
Well, from my perspective, it's been overrun. It's been run as a method of control since jump, and right now it's there's like there's all these weird side agendas which all seem to be sidestepping the valuable truth behind what's happening, and it just seems like there's continual double triple downing, and we've entered into a realm where the system is just not sustainable. The stock market cannot keep going up forever. Well, I want it to. Maybe it can.
Yeah,
Maybe it can. But it just seems like with a lot of people are kind of coming online and waking up to what fiat currency is all about and what the United States of America is all about. And I think they're learning that there's a whole language that governs us that looks very much like the language we use, but it's very, very different. and it's what's even more important that people are waking up to is that they don't need they don't require a middleman to explain it to them. All they have to do is open their eyes and start acting like an adult. Maybe for some people for the very first time, and it's a real eye opener. And I'm seeing a lot of people say and do and act on things that I never would have expected. That said, there's still people who are they're doubling, tripling down. They're like they're not giving up their their narratives. They're just not giving in. They're just even though it's a clear facade, it's a clear knockoff to what's really going to not just slap a band-aid over things, not to find remedy, but to find cure for a broken down system. And and I'm especially talking to and I've worked in education for a long time, and 15 years ago I was saying it then that this system is not sustainable, and 10 years ago I said it again, and I really meant it because I knew more about what I was talking about. And and I would say it's just been like a countdown during the last 10 years to get to where we are right now, which is the systems are in such shambles. They're being held up by who knows what. I have no idea how these programs are being funded, even to the extent that they're being funded. And it's just they're just done. And people, parents especially, are having the biggest wake up calls right now. They're forced to wake up. They didn't get their $2,000 that they were promised. They didn't. They're getting high gas prices. There's high food prices are coming. All right, like this. There's no doubt about it. Like the market prices are insane already, and it's just been this gradual upward push. And so, anyways, parents are being forced to make critical, like they're drawing critical conclusions. They're coming to their senses for the first time, and I could get deeper into it, but I still got a foot in. I still got some skin in the game. So, but once I'm detached fully from that, we're gonna hear some interesting shows about how I really feel about that whole system.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting what's going on, and the powers that be.
You can't tell me, even if we went back to school in the next, it's not going to happen this school year, but just for example, just say we go back to school in 2022
Yeah,
or later this year, whatever. Even still, you can't. There's just no way to like you okay. So the the students that have lived through this last two school semesters or three semesters now, and they have no real there's just like this total breakdown in what they're learning and in their direction because the parents aren't online yet. Their parents are in the sense that parents don't know how to look at their own children and point them towards something that they might be good at or they might have an interest in. They're still fighting that whole urge, and they want that old way of doing things to come back online. And it's not it's not happening. There's not. So what's going to happen in 5 years or whatever, 8 years, whenever these younger kids, especially they go to college and they've got this huge blank piece of their high school transcript where they were online, right? So how are you going to measure those students up against other students who might be online during that, the critical period? So there's going to be like this huge disconnect. It doesn't make sense. Even if they came back tomorrow, it's a fried out, cooked system, and I just wonder what's going to happen. It's really interesting, the politics, and I'm trying to choose my words carefully, but the system is so screwed up. But not only that, more people are finally like, "Yep, this is a broken down system." So what are we relying on government to provide us with this? Why can't we all rally together and figure it out for ourselves? And I think that's going to be once we have a tidal wave of parents who do that, who wake up to that reality, then there might be some real change. But
Yeah.
to hope for the old system to come back, you're just, first of all, you're crazy for doing that, and B, you look like uh, like the worst parent in the world if you are fighting for the old system to come back so your kid could get their education. Give me a break. So a lot left to see, and there's a lot um, of interesting. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of very interesting ideas thrown around, and it's going to be happen soon. This can't go on like this, where parents are like kept in the lurch, waiting and hoping for a reopening, but then it's just insane. I don't even know. I wish I had a big dead salmon in my hands, and every time I saw one of those parents, I just smack them across the face with it.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
a pacifist, and I wouldn't do that. But I'm just saying, these people, I don't know what it's going to take to wake some of them up, but it shows their hand too that they're just plain out bad parents, right? Like, you don't know how to parent. Well, right now's the time to learn.
Will they learn? I mean,
They will if enough good people aren't just in it for themselves, and they're so you see. Then you have the socioeconomic barrier, and I'm strictly speaking in education. You have the private schools that have been going, and the kids that were learning last year, uh, in February, so early 2020, those the public school educated children were learning almost the same thing, maybe in a little bit different way, but almost the same thing as the children who are in private schools, in the really good private schools too. Now, what you see is just this kind of light year progression for the students that are in the private schools during this time. They haven't missed a beat. They've moved on. They've learned and adopted a bunch of skills that a lot of a majority, I would say, of the public school educated children, there's just this huge gap. They just went light years ahead of that programming. So, so now there's that huge divide. The question is, are are these parents and are these children that are um, maybe behind now, so far behind now in some of these areas, are they going to accelerate in other areas because they're uh, learning about things they want to learn about. They're doing what they want to do, even if it's playing Minecraft all day, whatever. Are they going to be able to compete in any meaningful way with these? So, it's just like when you talk about the divide of, like what's happening and and the class divisions. I always kind of look down and see what's going on at the education level and look at those trends because even though we're it may not directly impact us right now, but it will affect us at some point. At some point, we're gonna have to pay their. So, are these people just gonna continue to sell their children out over time, and they continue to just sell out the next generation by just doing whatever it takes to keep getting that paycheck, or are they gonna stand on their feet, call a spade for once in their friggin' life, accept that other people in their lives may have been right about things, may have had good ideas that were shunned, uh, then then again, that's where you're going to see some heavy duty change. But I always go to that education level first to see what's going on there. That's always my go to.
Yeah, I mean, and you can educate yourself like online right now. There's so if you have access to a computer, there's so much out there that you can educate yourself on so many different subjects.
It's all there, and all you need though, all you need you don't need to sit in a stale classroom or a classroom with uh, multi-tiered glass partitions that create this crazy optical, I don't know what you call it. I don't know if you've seen what a classroom will look like that's trying to reopen right now. It's disturbing. It's unbelievable. But I'm just saying if these kids had the just like some sort of direction, not even a full curriculum, just a guideline for how to get to where they need to be if they want to learn about something they enjoy. Just give them some sort. That's all it takes. And that's like the easiest parenting ever right there. To me, it's like common sense like, "Oh, I know what you like. Why don't you do this?" And then, just give them that roadmap and see what happens. Throw it out there. Kids are going to do amazing things with what they're going through right now. They're going to rise. There's going to be people that rise and do things that we're going to find amazing. So,
I
all
certainly,
they
I
need that
certainly hope
guidance.
so.
They need that confidence to be able to do it.
I certainly hope so. I mean, but who knows what's going to happen right now? A lot of us aren't talking to one another. We're kind of talking, or we're not talking to one another. If we're talking,
Mhm.
we're more than likely talking at one another instead of to
Right.
each other.
That right.
And
Right.
that's not really constructive.
No, it's not. It's really it's really just a product of broken down methods of getting things done. It's what it comes down to is people just don't have any confidence or faith. They've adopted, these safety nets all around them. All they want are safety nets, and uh, I for me, this is one of the greatest times to be alive. This is like an amazing opportunity. It's what we want. It's like what you not we, but it's what I've always felt was what needed to happen for everybody to accelerate and to really get to a higher level of living. Um, and I'd see nothing but a downward trajectory in quality of life and people's attitudes and city living, just sucking the big donkey. Instead of rising up, it's been this constant meltdown. I'm not a flat earther. I don't know where you get that. Go listen, go watch my posted video, Political Woodstock, which you have none of on the topic. Go look at my go look at what I did on my channel before you open your fat trap. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
Wow. It's insane, people like that. This is the attitude that is dividing the country up. I'm sorry, it is. It's in every household, it's in every relationship, and it's and these people either are just blind. Like, do I put her in the Dennis category of blind, drunken zombie? Maybe, maybe. All right, I'm bloviating, but
yeah. Well, no, it's pretty good what we're hearing at, but people come in with a lot of conclusions, and someone says, "I read your Discord. I've been chatting your show log all day long." Let's take a look and see. Let's read the Discord, Joey.
okay.
Let's see what's been going on here.
Oh, I see some Reds picture. Okay. Okay.
Kids only trust two adults' opinions, maybe one. You're getting off track, JP. The 60s were much worse. MM, we have the power nowadays
Oh, I
because
missed all this.
LA sucks ass. Well, LA is not a good city. And it's not, people have taken over who are not open minded to other people's opinion. And that's just a sad case. Uh, and they don't, in my opinion, the people in Hollywood today do not respect your right to exist, basically. And that, to me, is really kind of sad. And with that being said, Joe, is there anything to add before we call this show over and done?
Uh, let's see. MMM, you're living in a horrible place. Yeah, we are. It's pretty done over here. Pretty
Yeah,
done.
I'm thinking of leaving.
But where to go? Idaho? Come on.
Well, I mean, what about Idaho, Joe?
I've spent enough time there to know that I could get by there. It's not home. Never will be, but whatever.
You and I perhaps disagree, and you'll disagree on this statement. I feel like America right now is living, and I think maybe even the West is living under an iron curtain uh, of an ideological iron curtain.
Well, I
And
think there is a spiritual war at play, and it's people. There's a way of communicating now that I don't think a lot of people are understanding. I think people got so addicted to their phones and their devices that I don't think half of them care to ever go back to communicating and doing kind of like old world ways of thinking. They just they want to order stuff on Amazon, sit home and get their food ordered. I'm
now Debbie says the rest of us are partying. You're living under the democratic rule for one world order.
Ooh.
And you know what I mean? God, I mean, people come to Texas and they say that it's absolutely free out there, where you don't have to wear a mask when you go into a restaurant. I don't know if I don't know though if you have to if the movie theaters are open. That was something that I did enjoy, and it's something that uh, is part of our culture. Now you are being demonized on
I
Discord.
see that. I see that. Angela's weak.
But you know what? People have the right.
Yes.
People have the right if they. It's just an opinion, and I think that Angela, for all her bluster, is against cancel culture. So she's one of the few persons that's kind of liberal out there that is not in
Come
favor.
on. Talk about nonsense.
Yeah.
She's the one she's reported us before because something that she didn't like. She's, tried to silence people. She's full of it. I'm sorry. She doesn't practice what she preaches. She never has.
Well, a lot of people don't. Wait, now Debbie has said that the theaters are open, that the movie theaters are open.
Theirs in Texas, not here.
Yeah, well, they're not going to be. So, yeah, I mean, and I will not, you know what? I will not go to a movie and wear a mask. I just, that's, if I want.
I remember last March when I was talking about these changes, and some of them are going to be long term, if not permanent. And I remember Debbie saying, "Oh, baloney, JP. Everything's going to return to normal in 2 weeks. Watch, 3 weeks, maybe." I said, "No, I don't think that's so." But, anyways, I'm glad she can go to a movie. That's cool.
Yeah, and I recommend the movie
Yeah,
The Heart is a Lonely Hunter.
I'm
Uh,
gonna check that one out.
Movie theaters, what though? I don't know if I want to go see any movies right now. I'm kind of disappointed in Hollywood. Uh, and I'm disappointed in the cancel culture seems to have taken over Hollywood, and Hollywood's always been rather liberal, but it's never been this bad, and social media has made it worse, and it's not something that I necessarily want to support with my money. And I think other people who feel that way should also do the same thing. You shouldn't support people who don't recognize your right to exist and your right to question things. So I think that hopefully enough people will come together and boycott and not spend their hard earned dollar on people who do not recognize their right to exist, to be alive, to breathe, free to speak your mind, and and not be punished. People say freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences. Who decides these consequences? And if these people are doing things that are unfair and you believe are unjust, don't spend your money. Don't spend your hard-earned dollar on people who silence people and punish people and try to economically destroy them.
Debbie's going off on you.
Debbie goes off on me. She still owes me a steak, and maybe I'll go down there and I'll demand a movie.
And
Maybe
I agree with Susie here. The whole thing to move to Texas was such a scam, and the people who are in the worst condition right now in Texas are probably all the people who just moved there in the last few months. They went down there and got frozen. Disturbing. I would never move to Texas. But anyways, all right. Are we done? Yeah,
uh,
we should get it. That's a good idea. We should buy a drive-in movie theater.
I'll tell I'll tell you something, and and I'll go in later to what I kind of uh, believe about. But well, anyway,
Angela, if you find a movie theater, a drive-in movie theater that could use refurbishing, let us know. Maybe we'll go and
yeah,
get some of that
I,
money from
I,
Oklahoma.
I think Joe and I will maybe do some live shows and some talk-ins there for people that are interested in freedom of speech and freedom of thought, and just let's get some freedom going here. Right now, there's not a lot of freedom in the world, and Hollywood has made that worse. And I think it's about time that people don't support these Hollywood people. I mean, what they did to Gina Carano. By the way, Joe, I do hope you do watch Gina Carano's interview on The Blaze. I think it's The Blaze with Ben Shapiro, just to see what's going on, because I think we should do perhaps a reaction show to that.
Let's do it. We'll check it out. All right.
All right, that'll do it. Hey, guys, go to our website, transparencyandmerit.com. We're still working on that. Like our page. Like our YouTube. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. And, try to remain calm, stoic calm. Anything else to add before I end this puppy, Joey?
No, but I like the idea of buying an old movie theater and just turning it into something awesome. All right. Good night, and thank you for listening to Transparency and Merit.
Later, everybody.